Howdy, YouTube. That horse over there, back at you. Today, I wanted to just tell a little story about something that happened to me a long time ago. Um, this was probably back in like 2008, 2009. That was a long time ago. I was like, I was a lot younger, and I don't know. I just found out like I started just like I mean, Google wasn't really a thing, but it still kind of it was starting to get to be something, and I started looking up like. I don't know, you just kind of wonder like what's going on in the world about like God and the universe and things like that. And then I just came across like like Hindu stuff, like Indian stuff, and I was like, what is this? Like, what is all this basically like if you could see on the screen, it's like Kundalini yoga. Like, what is this? Like some awakening and some like enlightenment, and like what the fuck is this? And yeah, and then I don't know, you just have a lot of questions. Like, I was raised Christian, so anything outside of that, like I kind of wasn't exposed to up until that point. And so, I was just curious, like, is this where the answers lie? Like, what is all this? So I have an older sister, and so I don't know. I kind of like go to her with some of my questions sometimes, and I just kind of like express my interest, like, what is this? Like, do you know anything about this? Like, I know I never brought this up, or we never talked about it, whatever. But yeah, just wondering, have you ever even thought about this? And then she told me a little story, which I'm going to well, I don't know. We'll have. Actually, she didn't tell me a story. What happened? Okay, so she told me. Who does know about this? She said, no, I don't. That's right. She said, no, I don't know about this. But you know who does? My friend Aaron. So, who's her friend Aaron? This is like a friend of hers back from like when she was in like high school or college. And mind you, this was like she's like way out of like college by now. Like she's has like her own career and everything. And so this is kind of like not like a childhood friend, but like pretty. They've been friends for quite a while. And she said, you know what, call him. And then so here's his number. He's really into this stuff. So I was like, okay. And I never talked to this guy before. I might have met him maybe once or twice before, briefly. Uh, um, I met her. I met him at my sister's wedding. That was one. If I met her before that, like maybe when she was in college or something, I just don't maybe remember. Maybe. So I give him a call, and then I just start, asking him like, "Hey, like I kind of, I just said like kind of interested, don't know anything about it. Like my sister said, call you. And I trust her. You're her good friend." And then he was like, "Okay." And I seemed pretty open about the topic, so I seemed pretty already of accepting. Like I was open to accept, maybe some of these ideas that may sound kind of maybe kooky to other people, but I was just like pretty open. I was just like, "What is this? I already kind of believe in it," or something like that. And then so he said, "This is what he said." So this is the story. He said, uh, okay, so I haven't, I'm just me speaking as him. He said, I haven't told your sister this yet, but, okay, but this is what I experienced not too long ago. And he said something maybe like a few months, um, 6 months earlier than this phone call, that he had really just gotten into yoga. Just yoga. Like he didn't even know anything about like anything beyond that spiritually. Like he was just like, it seems like good exercise, like I'm stretching and it's really like calming me down, and I just like it. And then he said that he was just doing it all the time. He just loved it. He just loved, like, it was like a real calm place for him, and he felt like he was getting like some fitness out of it. He was learning like really hard poses. It was somewhat challenging, and he just really kind of liked it. And then he said that, and I think he said like this was like maybe a few days or maybe like a couple weeks after my sister's wedding, which again, I met him at that point. And he said uh, that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that he was just doing his regular yoga, you know, and Sorry about that. And he was just doing his regular yoga routine, and out of nowhere he felt like this surge of energy like shoot up the back of his spine, and then like it he felt like his head was like there was like just so much pressure in his head, and then he said he felt his third eye pop, and then he had a teacher who wasn't human. Those were the exact words that he told me over the phone. Like I'm not gonna forget that. So that was kind of crazy. Uh, I kind of was taken aback by that. I really didn't know what to like follow up questions to ask about that. I was still pretty open. I was like pretty accepting. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I believe him. I believed him at the time, and I still believe him today. Like this isn't just some like yeah. I mean, it's my sister's friend. Like uh, I believe him, and um, and since then, I haven't really talked to him that much. He recommended a bunch of books, and he was just like, "Yeah, I really recommend it." And he said that since then, he started looking into like a lot of different books, books on like Hinduism and spirituality. And he said he started having to do all this research because that was a crazy event for him. And and he was like, "What's going on with me?" Like, so he started doing all this research too, and then I guess and then I guess he like found some stuff, and he was like, yeah, like these books are really informative. I think these are applicable. It took me a while to find stuff that he thinks is relevant to his situation, and not. Um, he describes a lot of uh, um, like how like his daily life has changed compared and he which sounds similar to what he was reading. So some of it is that he seems real sensitive to food now, and he sees. And then one thing he read that um, he has to be very conscious of his diet, because if not, he says he gets really like hot and like maybe like tingly, almost burning sensation if he eats poorly. So one thing is like he's reading all these books, like some of it is like like a master Buddhist, master Hindu enlightened person should eat meekly because they're a meek. He's like, no, because you fucking start burning. Like if your skin starts burning, if you eat like McDonald's and shit, like you eat a bunch of like refined sugar, you're gonna feel like crap, and like your skin starts burning. It's like your head hurts. He's like, so like I just eat rice. If I just eat rice, it just kind of like all goes away. So he's like kind of making fun of like I don't know, a lot of those like old books, how they talk about like a meek, humble life, and it's like no, because after that you do that shit, like your skin starts burning, you just want it to go away. So stuff like that. Um, and since then, and here's some pictures. So if you guys don't know about Kundalini, this is what it is apparently. It's about the chakras, and like here's your asshole chakra, and that represents like the earth and stuff like that, and then I guess you breathe a certain way, and then that opens up and activates chakras along the way, and if you can get it up your spine and up through the chakras, they'll open, and then you'll have like greater clarity for what that means. Um, I guess these like overlap with certain organs in the body, things like that. Some of the yoga poses. Here are some examples. Yeah, like so he was doing this stuff. So just in case you don't know what it's about before. But since then, I just wanted to promote his book. He wrote some books about it. So yeah, so he wrote here's American Kundalini, here's Tempest in the Cloud. His name's Aaron Anderson. You can find his books on Amazon. We're on Amazon right now, and yeah, that's kind of the story of that phone call. Um, yeah, some of this stuff I was information that was passed through him through my sister. My sister would tell me about some of the stuff, like yeah, like he's really like kind of he gets maybe not irritated, but like he gets like sensitive. Since he's so I don't know, really sensitive to like stuff like in the modern world, like it's um like noise and stress and chaos and stuff like that. Like it's really kind of like hampered his like life at work, life at work doesn't really seem to be conducive for someone who is really sensitive and has their third eye open and sees more than just physical reality. Um, so yeah, that's the story of that phone call. Um, and yeah, I have reached out to him somewhat recently. Seems like he's doing good. He's kind of understanding his situation more, being accepting and embracing it, and yeah, kind of thriving. So um, yeah, that's the story. So uh, yeah, I think this is a thing. This Kundalini thing is a thing. Do I think it's for everybody? I don't. Maybe not necessarily. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is a specific path thing. I don't know if maybe in a different world environment, maybe this would be like commonplace for everybody. I think everybody is capable of this. Um, Different cultures and civilizations do talk about this phenomenon. Um, uh, and it might be something that uh, humans maybe have done where it was more commonplace in a different time before our modern time. Maybe we're getting back to that. I think that's what some of the book's about. Is we're spiritually asleep right now in this time in period in human life and existence, and we're at the age of Pisces. We're entering into the age of Aquarius. So the age of Aquarius, I don't know. It seems like it's themed as enlightenment. So maybe more people will be raising their Kundalini and will be understanding it a little bit more. Eastern cultures seem to understand this a lot better than Western cultures. Western cultures really just don't even acknowledge the existence of this. Uh, but but yeah, I think this is a thing, and I don't really know what benefits it is. I don't know if they're what the costs are. Um, but I think it's interesting, and I just kind of want to put out there that I think this is a real thing. Like into Western culture, we're on Western YouTube. This is I think a real thing. So thanks for listening to my story, guys. Stay tuned for anything else that I might put out. Thanks for watching, YouTube.